and go to work. No one at Hayward Home had to know about the divorce, and she would hide the pregnancy as long as possible. But eventually, someone would discover the truth and she'd be out of a job. Maybe, by some miracle, she would find another paying job that allowed her to get the counseling hours required for her license. Even if she did, what were the chances the benefits would include health insurance, like her present employment? She hurried to her closet and flung the door open, groaning when she spied the only clean work polo, hanging there in all its offensive pink glory, laughing at her. "I hate pink!" She snatched the shirt, knocking the hanger to the floor in her haste. Just her luck. All the preferable polo shirts were in the bottom of the hamper. How could she have forgotten to do laundry again? She'd have to be more organized if she was going to survive life with a baby. I'm not ready to be a mother, especially not a single mom. 66 days. The 60-day waiting period required in Texas, plus 1 day for her impatient ex-husband to schedule the final perfunctory hearing, and 5 days for the papers to arrive in the mail. There could be no doubt how far along she was in her pregnancy. Maybe she would be more emotionally prepared by the time the baby was born. Tucking her purse strap over her shoulder, she grabbed a breakfast bar on her way out the door. With any luck, her stomach would settle and she could keep some food in. As she climbed into her aging two-door sedan, she tried to imagine maneuvering a baby seat into the back. "Sorry, Andretti." She stroked her hand across the cracked vinyl seat beside her. "It's not that you haven't been a good car, but I really need 4 doors. Yet she knew she didn't have the money to buy a vehicle, even if she traded for another used one. And how would she afford her medical co-payments, not to mention her $1,500 deductible? Coffee. Coffee would make everything better, even though it has to be decaf. Cole steadied the disposable cup in his prosthetic hand, a task made more difficult by the lack of feeling. It was a delicate balance. Too loose and the coffee would slip from his grip. Too tight and the cup would crumple. He'd worn his favorite prosthesis, a lime green mechanical arm that offered superior dexterity. Still, the lack of sensory feedback added major limitations. Soon he would have a state-of-the-art prosthesis that could actually feel, though this technology was still in the developmental stage. He got the usual stares from the coffee shop patrons. Some were probably curious about his neon hand, but a few might have recognized him, despite his low-tucked cowboy hat. Satisfied his coffee cup was secure, he used his real right hand to tuck a napkin in his pocket and retrieve his cell phone. He scanned his latest messages as he turned from the condiment counter and started toward an empty table next to the door. Intent on his phone screen, he didn't notice the person entering the shop until he collided with her. While the coffee lid should have prevented any spills, it was no match for the reflex tightening of his mechanical hand. The cup collapsed, popping the lid off to send coffee splashing to the floor, splattering everything in its path. Embarrassed, he put his phone away and surveyed the damage, an apology spilling from his mouth before he even got a good look at his victim.
"So sorry about that. I wasn't watching where I was going."
He wondered how much money it would cost him to make up for his moment of carelessness. What was happening to him? He was losing his edge. His painstaking attention to detail had always been his trademark, but lately he'd made a number of serious and costly mistakes, enough to keep his attorney agitated. Could this day get any worse? His gaze jerked to the source of the feminine voice, a sight that set his emotions whirling. Glossy brunette hair fell in soft waves, framing a pair of deep brown eyes and a pert nose. His pulse quickened with instant attraction. She held her arm forward at an awkward angle, her sleeve dripping with coffee that had drenched most of a once white cardigan, parted to expose a garishly bright pink shirt. Mouth gaping in a surprised "oh," she stared at him with her bottomless eyes.